Hey, this is Adam Knackers of TechieNetworker.com. Welcome to Website 123. This is the first video all about showing you the essential elements of a high-converting business website. So this is more of an overview video to give you the big picture understanding of all the elements that your website has to have to be high-converting, to convert visitors into leads, into customers and clients, okay? So it's really important that you have this understanding just so as we go through the course and as you see me moving forward, you're going to have you're going to see this coming together better if you're aware of all the elements that you have to have, okay? So let's just dive right in. Now, first of all, there is a prerequisite. At this point, you should know what your unique selling proposition is and what your conversion goal is, okay? And really what that means is you should be clear on your audience, who you're serving, right? You should have a unique selling point. Really what that is, you know, when people land on your site, you want to have the messaging on there that's going to let them know why they're in the right place, right? Exactly why you're the person they should go with to solve whatever problem you're going to solve and not somebody else, right? And you should also have a conversion goal, which means you should have something of value to offer them in exchange for their email address, something that's going to help solve a problem for them or help them achieve a desired result, okay? If you don't have this stuff figured out yet, then make sure you pay attention to your email inbox, because I'm going to be notifying you shortly about another mini course all about helping you get clear on your audience, your unique selling point, and your unique offer, okay? Provided you have that stuff already figured out, then you should keep moving on through this course. Okay, so number one element that you need to have for your website is a custom domain. Okay, and by a custom domain, I mean you have to have a brand and a domain name that you're going to use, okay? As opposed to, like, for example, if you went to like a free hosting service like Blogger or WordPress.com and you got started with them, your website would run on what's called a subdomain. So your URL would be something like brand.wordpress.com or brand.blogspot.com. See, that's a problem mostly because it doesn't look professional, okay? And it's really important that you know, in terms of how you present yourself to your audience, you want to have credibility, right? You want to look professional. So you want to go out and get a custom domain. So actually in the first video in module 1, I'm going to actually be showing you how to go about choosing a domain, the rules you should apply to pick a domain, a good domain for your business, okay? But I just want to help you understand why you should have a custom domain. Secondly, the second element is you need to have fast, reliable, and secure hosting for your website. For those of you who don't know what hosting is basically wherever your website is sitting and being hosted, okay? So it's really important that you have fast hosting because how fast your website loads is going to impact your conversions. If your audience is coming to your site and it's taking 10 seconds to load, they're going to leave, all right? So you need to have fast hosting. It needs to be reliable. You need to go with a provider that you know is going to have is going to be up and running, right? And it needs to be secure. You don't want to be concerned that hackers are going to come in there and take your site down. I've seen this happen, and it can destroy businesses. So you want to make sure you have fast, reliable, and secure hosting. Thirdly, you want to have responsive design, all right? Responsive design just means it needs to be mobile friendly, all right? Think about this. More and more people every day are surfing online now with their phones and their tablets, their mobile devices, right? So you want to have a design that's going to render your site in a way on mobile devices that people aren't going to have to like pinch the screen to zoom in or zoom out, right? The content should be very clear, simple, and easy to consume on a mobile device. The other thing is Google is starting to penalize websites that aren't mobile friendly. So from a ranking standpoint, it's also really important, all right? And the cool thing is, you know, the providers out there have become more and more aware of this. So just about, you know, most of the time, you're gonna see that the themes, whether you're using a hosted solution or a self-hosted solution, you have more options out there that does this for you, right? Like if you go and get a theme for a WordPress site, most of the time now the new themes are responsive, and most of the like hosted solutions, like whether it's, you know, Squarespace or Wix or Weebly, are already mobile friendly for you right out of the box. But it's just something to be aware of. You want to make sure that with whatever, you know, decisions you make, that you have a responsive design for your website. Okay. 4, it needs to have a blog, all right? A lot of people don't know what a blog is versus a website. Think of a blog as basically a website that is optimized for frequent updating. Just makes it really easy for you to add new, fresh content, okay? That's really all a blog is. But, you know, long ago, you know, when the internet first came around, what most businesses did is they just threw up a website with like maybe 5 or 6 pages, right? and there was no dynamic content. It was more of a static site. Well, over time, what businesses have realized is that it's a lot easier to start building an audience, stay relevant, and get in front of your audience if you're producing fresh content. And that's when blogs really evolve, because as a way to fill that need. So a blog is just a website that makes it very easy for you to update and add new content. Okay? So that's the fourth thing. The fifth thing is you need to have an about page. All right? Your about page is basically the page that tells your story, the story that matters to your audience. It might be, if you're in nutrition, for example, you might tell your story of how, you used to be unhealthy and you lacked confidence, and then you discovered this program and it helped transform your life and transform you into a more confident person, right? Your story is basically it's that page. Your about page is really where your visitors are going to go to learn more about you. And it's really an important page to help develop trust and rapport with your audience. And not only that, it's going to be probably the most trafficked page on your website. Because what happens is when a new visitor comes to a piece of content, let's say they read it and they like the value you shared, generally what they're going to want to do next is find out more about you. Okay? And that's why every single website on the web that's successful that I'm aware of has some kind of like about me page. All right? That really tells the story of the business or your background or whatever to help you build that rapport and trust with your clients. And your visitors, I should say, because that's so important. What you're really doing with your website is you're first attracting people, but once they're there, it's not like when people are first sign up for your consulting or your coaching right away, right? They're going to want to learn more about you, and so you want to have this element as a way to start building that rapport and that trust. Okay, so an about page is really, really important. All right, 6, you need to have opt-in forms. All right, an opt-in form is basically just a form that will convert a visitor to your website into a subscriber to your list. Okay? And there are strategic places you should put those forms. And I'm not going to talk about that right now. I just want to help you understand that you want to give your visitor multiple ways to go from being a visitor to getting on your list, because that gets them one step closer to being a customer, right? You need to be able to follow up with them through email. So you need to have opt-in forms. 7, you need to have easy engagement. There's so many benefits to having engagement, all right? But number 1, if your website makes it easy for people to engage, it actually is going to feel more like it's a two-way street for your visitor. They're going to want to come back. Again, this is another element that builds rapport and trust, because it becomes more of a dialogue when you allow people to share your stuff and comment on it. And of course, facilitating sharing means when someone comes to your site as a visitor, they can share it with their friends more easily, and obviously that's going to bring you even more traffic, right? So, adding the features to your website that makes it convenient for your visitors to share your content and also comment and engage, really, really important. Additionally, commenting is good for SEO purposes. The search engines certainly view sites that have more engagement as being sites that they're going to want to rank more. Social signals, when your content gets shared, those are signals that the search engines also pick up on. It's becoming more and more important that your content gets engagement if you want it to be more visible online. Okay? So that's 7. Number 8, spam protection. See, what happens a lot when you launch your website and your blog, there's a lot of shady people out there that look for new blogs, and what they want to do is they want to spam their own blog or their own website. And so they'll come in and they'll find your blogs and they'll just write irrelevant comments that link back to their sites. All right, so you want to have a way to block that. And I'm going to show you some nifty tricks and ways to do that, as well as just those considerations you need to make so you make sure you have adequate spam protection for your website. Okay, the 9th thing, you want to have Google Analytics. All right, Google Analytics is a tool that enables you to see where your traffic is coming from, and really all the analytics you'll need to be on top of, the numbers that you need to know for your website. So first of all, you know where your traffic is coming from, but trust me on this. As you're progressing with your website, it feels good to see your stats and to see your numbers and to see the progress you're making, right? So in addition to helping you make decisions, it's also going to, show you and prove to you that you're getting results, your website is getting traffic, and that'll help you move forward, right? So Google Analytics is really, really important. 10, speed and security. I really already touched on this with the hosting, but I wanted to emphasize it again, that you want to make sure that once you have your site up and running, that you test and make sure that it has the speed, It's really, really important that it loads really fast and that it's a secure, stable website. Okay. 11, backup. All right. So backup is basically you want to be with whatever provider you go with. You want to make sure that your site is backed up. Okay, because obviously crashes, even with the most secure and stable hosting out there, you know, accidents can happen. Things can happen, and you want to make sure that your site is being backed up on a regular basis, so that if something happens, you're not going to lose all that, you know, this blood, sweat, and effort that you're putting into building your site. You want to make sure that's going to be there even if something happens, right? And that's why you want to make sure your site is being backed up. And then, of course, with whatever provider or solution you go with, you want to make sure you have ongoing support so that when you have issues that come up, you can go somewhere to get the answers, right? So that's really everything. Again, let me just recap what those 12 things are. So you need to have a custom domain, like yourname.com or something else. And again, in the next video, the first video in Module 1, I'm going to show you how to go about choosing a domain. You want to have fast, reliable, and secure hosting, okay? You want to have a responsive design. You want to make sure your site loads in a mobile-friendly way for all the people out there that browse and are going to come to your site, everyone in your audience on a mobile device. You want to make sure your website has a blog, okay? Because that's how you're going to be able to publish fresh new content for your subscribers and your audience. Fifth, you want to make sure you have an about page as a way to tell your story, let people know a little bit about your background, how you're going to be able to help them in order to build rapport and trust with your audience. 6, you want to have opt-in forms. You want to have multiple ways for your visitors to be converted into subscribers, right? 7, easy engagement. You want to have social sharing and commenting features that make it easy for your visitors to engage. 8, you want to make sure you have spam protection. This way you can, you know, protect yourself from all those, you know, shady folks out there that just want to, you know, come and leave comments on your site that are irrelevant, because that just doesn't look good, right? And 9, you want to have Google Analytics so you can be on top of your numbers. And also just be aware of the progress you're making as you move, you move forward, so you can make better decisions going forward with your website, right? 10, make sure that your site loads fast and is secure, okay? 11, you want to make sure you have a backup facility in place that's going to back up all your files and your data for your website so that if an accident happens, you don't lose everything. 12, you want to make sure you have ongoing support so you can always get your answers to your problems or any issues that come up. So with all that said, now that you have this overview, I look forward to seeing you in Module 1. And again, if you guys have any questions about any of this, make sure you leave a comment below this video and let me know. I'm going to respond to my comments very promptly. So just let me know any questions you have. In doing so, you're also going to help me improve this course. So I really appreciate it if you would just leave comments when you have any questions or concerns. Okay? I look forward to seeing you in the next video.